recap in your own words why you think that the United States is no longer the most powerful military in the world,
Yeah, I
if you
guess I
believe
would
that.
say, okay, this is something that I've brought up a few times, but yeah, this war has caused me to reassess the the power, the military power of the United States. Again, when this war began in February of 2022, um, there were some very, you could say, knowledgeable pundits, that pointed out again the great disparity in economic power, apparent economic power, let's say nominal economic power, between NATO on the one side and Russia on the other, and then especially if you look at military spending. Again, I think we mentioned in the last program that approximately 75% of all military spending in the world is done by NATO. And then most of that is the U.S. The U.S. is close to 50% of all military spending in the world. Now, Russia is just a small fraction of that. I don't know what it is right now. They're now spending 6% of their GDP. But I remember looking at just like, for example, well, the manufacturing capacities of Germany and the U.S. combined, and that's not all of NATO, of course, but those are the two biggest economies, among the NATO cons. If you add their manufacturing capacities as measured, I think according to GDP, it ends up being 15 times that of Russia. So I was aware of this disparity, and I was just thinking, if the Russians don't achieve a rapid victory, it's over again, because in the end, any kind of military strength rests on economic strength. If you don't have the economic base, your military, sometimes you can punch above your weight. It's for whatever reason, you may be, it may be able to do more than what would be expected for a country of let's say your economic strength, that is, say, your GDP. But so I was just thinking, well, 1/15th, that this isn't going to last long. You say, even if the Russians have an advantage in the initial stage, surely the other side will start cranking up production, and then it's just going to overwhelm. But we haven't seen that. In fact, we've seen the reverse, and I'll be honest, it was a real surprise to me, and I think it's a surprise to a lot of people. And then I guess I was been affected by maybe the price tag, and all the, maybe the Hollywood movies, but just in general, kind of the, I remember the. The footage that we got from even going back to the first Gulf War, the U.S. wonder weapons, and that was from a good 30 years ago or more. And so I've just assumed that we had the best of the best because we just spent the most money. And now those wonder weapons, like the Patriot system, they've been sent to Ukraine. Everything from the Abrams tanks to Patriots, to ATACMS, it started off with the Javelin, and the fact is that again and again they've just come up short. So it's just that we really are a paper tiger. I mean, it's just something that I've come to realize. It's that huge price tag. A price tag is one thing, but the reality is another thing. It's just that we had a much bigger price tag than the other side. But it looks like the other side can crank out the weapons that are really needed to win a war. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. I mean, kind of.
Well, yeah, it does. And I guess just another big thing that I learned, like I said, this wasn't anything that I ever even considered. When I grew up, it was always America's number one by miles. Like we were just the biggest, baddest dude on the block, and it wasn't even close. And then I learned through you, and then started doing my own research. But one of the big things that came my attention was just like, hey, the U.S., we don't have hypersonic missiles, and just how important missile technology is in modern warfare, because it comes down to air defense systems and hypersonic missiles are the only things that can surpass any air defense systems, and the U.S. doesn't have them. And then I found out China has them, Iran has them, North Korea probably has them, and Russia has them.
Yeah,
There's
some question about, I guess like hypersonic can be defined variously. So there's still some question about whether Iran has true hypersonic missiles. They have missiles that do have, let's say, hypersonic reentry vehicles. I think that's that's the final stage, of the missile, and that final stage can achieve hypersonic speeds. And I think that some of those, I'm not sure. I've heard different versions, different stories. I think some of them may have been used in the demonstration attack in early April. Others say that actually they held back on those. Who knows? But yeah, there's no question that Russia's had them since 2018, 2019. And I've been hearing, I remember when it first came, that Putin announced that they had these weapons. They had some sort of kind of maybe not exactly a trailer, but a promotional, let's say, just an advertisement that the Russian military put out, but it just wasn't Hollywood quality, and it just got all kinds of laughs and jeers. But again, this is typical. Okay, the Russians are not very good at this part of it, but they really did produce them, and we're finding out. It's actually at the very beginning of the war that they used their first Kinjal, and it took out a base very close to the Polish border where a bunch of mercenaries had congregated. And that was like, it was the first warning shot. Like, this is the kind of war that you're going to be fighting. But again, from approximately 2018, the Americans have been working and they keep on failing. I think, maybe they're right on the verge of finally developing their own hypersonic system. But look, that's 6 years behind, and that's just going to be one system.
Right, the Russians have many different types of hypersonic missiles. Some that can go up to Mach 30.
Right.
It's and the Chinese have them as well. It's just, the more that this war has exposed so much to me personally, and I know to you as well, and I think just to anybody that's watching and paying attention. That's why I asked this question, because I know if I'm just being a rational actor, I don't want Russia to be the most powerful military. I don't want Russia to be number one. I'm an American. I'm a patriot. I still love my country, even though I think it's gone off the track and its foreign policy is insane and is bringing this country down. But I'm not relishing in the fact that our military is garbage, but it needs to be made apparent to people that it's a corrupt system. We are throwing away trillions of dollars. What our military annual budget's close to $1 trillion on this, and we just keep on borrowing it. This is our money. I'm an American. This is our money, and you're just wasting it. If you're putting in that much money in there, I want to see results. And what this war has shown is that we're not getting results. We're not getting any bang for our buck.